Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're sitting down talking about the upcoming WWE's Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which is coming up right around the corner on Sunday. It's going to be going up against Championship Sunday in the NFL, where we find out what teams are going to the Super Bowl. It would have made a lot more sense for WWE to push the Royal Rumble back one more week to go up against the Pro Bowl, which nobody watches. But maybe nobody in WWE checks the calendar. Honestly, I know it's on the network. Honestly, I know that everything is on demand. But the Royal Rumble is must-see television, and basically the afternoon game kicks off at 6:30, which means that basically it'll be ending around 9 to 9:30. So I mean, when it comes down to it, if you want to watch football and flip on over, you're probably not going to miss anything. All you really need to see is the last hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes of the pay-per-view. The Rumble is basically the main event. It is the whole show. It is basically anything that anyone would care about. This year's Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view itself, I know that they have the championship going on in the Royal Rumble, which sort of makes it to the point where why would you even want to have a singles match if you think that you have a chance to win the Royal Rumble? Why would you be one of the guys wrestling in one of the I guess you can say 3 matches that involve the dudes that can enter into the Rumble, unless Charlotte or Becky Lynch get a number in order to get in there. But why would you want to go through one match in order to get into another one and already be beaten down? But when it comes to it, you got your tag titles match, you've got your United States titles match, as well as your Intercontinental match. And they put some guys out there, but I can honestly tell you the undercard of matches in most Royal Rumbles don't really matter. I mean, every once in a while they have matches that really pop up. I think that 2010 we had Rey Mysterio versus Undertaker in a fucking unbelievable match that you don't think that would work out because of how big Undertaker is and how small Rey is, but Taker just brutalized Rey Mysterio in that match, but as well gave a lot to Mysterio as well. And I can think of 2011 Dolph versus Edge surprised a lot of people as being a great opener for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know, but I just keep shaking my head when I look at this last man standing match against Ambrose versus Owens. Unless the loser is not going to be involved in the match because they have to be taken to the hospital, or they've play up the fact that they have a concussion or something like that, and they keep them out of the match. How would you get beaten down to the point where you can't answer the 10 count from your opponent and then get up and just wrestle in the next match? Because more than likely, I would think that the Usos are going to open. Then you're going to have your Kalisto Del Rio. Then you'll go with Owens versus Ambrose, and then go to your women's match leading in to the Rumble match itself. But I don't know. I don't book this stuff. I only watch this stuff. But I don't know. I mean, you're up for a lot of surprises in the Rumble match. You're definitely going to be seeing a new WWE champion crowned. You're definitely going to be seeing a few returns. Even, Ric Flair, one on his podcast, going on record, saying that Shawn Michaels had called him, basically saying that Vince had offered him a ton of money to make a one-time return to the Royal Rumble, hopefully thinking that that would set something up for WrestleMania. I mean, hell, when Shawn Michaels came back from his last retirement in order to fight against Triple H at SummerSlam, it was only supposed to be a one-time thing, and then a one-time thing turned into coming back for another time, and another time, and another time, and maybe Vince is trying to trick Shawn into coming back for 6 more years, like he did. I guess it was 8, from 2002 to 2010. Damn. After being retired, he came out of retirement. He wrestled for a long damn time. But that's the Rumble pay-per-view. We'll break down all of the matches as well as talk very candidly and openly about everything that could happen in the Royal Rumble this year. Lots of returns planned, lots of returns that could happen, lots of rumors out there. We'll break them all down in the upcoming videos talking about the WWE's Royal Rumble 2016. This Royal Rumble has more expectations on it than anything that I've seen in wrestling in a long time. Not only are we going to see WWE crown a new champion, Roman Reigns is putting the championship on the line in the Royal Rumble for the first time. It wasn't like it was really his choice. It was due to Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon basically pushing him to the point where Sheamus wasn't going to be able to get the job done. They had done everything they could do to try and stack the deck against them, so why not put him in the Royal Rumble and make him put the championship? All versus one, or one versus all, whatever the tagline is for this show. It's a lot like the Stone Cold Steve Austin storyline from back in the day, where he would come in number one, and after that, basically Vince came in number two, and then the I don't know if they ever said that they stacked the deck, but it sure was a lot of corporation members coming out very early in the Rumble. Not only from that, they trailed off out of the ring, going into the back and having the entire corporation work over Stone Cold Steve Austin in a bathroom, where it wasn't like the whole match Stone Cold had to be inside of the ring. Vince was doing commentary, and he was still in the Rumble from there. Once Stone Cold made his return, you see that big wide-eyed thing. I'm not sure that they're going to go that way. They've always tried to make Roman Reigns look real strong. No doubt in my mind he's going to be fighting in the ring. More than likely times the deck will be stacked against him. Maybe he'll have to fight all of the social outcasts. Maybe that's why they put that group together, for a 4-on-1 kind of deal. We just saw Big Show knock them all out, so it's not going to be the biggest surprise of all time, but they find some way for Roman to eliminate all four guys at one time. Maybe at one point the League of Nations is in there. We talked earlier about all of the groups of four that are basically being built up, and they got to be built up for a reason. If you can remember, the new Nexus with CM Punk, they sort of took over a Rumble a couple of years ago, where basically they had strength in numbers before John Cena and Hornswoggle came down and took them all out. But Brock Lesnar is going to be a part of this Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock is number 2, and we get Brock versus Roman for a short little time, seeing if that's going to be a WrestleMania match, or if that's just going to be a special moment just for us. But we've seen spears, we've seen F5s. They're basically building to something. I don't know if it's going to be Fastlane. There's talks of basically making Fastlane an A+ pay-per-view for us to watch again. So they got to figure out who's going to WrestleMania to fight for the championship to be the number one contender anyways. I think that we're going to see the return of Triple H. There's talk of basically getting a AJ Styles debut at the Rumble. Thousands of things can happen. They always open the door to bringing guys from the outside in. How many rumors have we heard that Daniel Bryan might be cleared, and they might be Daniel Bryan having a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble to try and kick his WWE career off again for the third, well, I guess it'd be the fourth, because he was part of the Nexus. He got fired. They brought him back at SummerSlam. They built him all the way up into WrestleMania 30. He got injured. He came back for WrestleMania 31. Man, and try to go at it again. I'm not 100% sure where they're going to go from this, but it is talk of the town out there, and we got to talk about everything that could be going down in this match. But when the championship's on the line, you got to be able to knock out at least 27 guys. I know that's been one of the complaints about the Royal Rumble. I think I picked the Royal Rumble winner every year since 2011. It just was obvious to me that Alberto Del Rio was going to get the win. He had the moment on Monday Night Raw with Shawn Michaels, and they just kept on putting him out there and trying to make him look like he was a big deal. And that's when I thought he'd go on to WrestleMania. He'd complete his destiny, and he'd beat Edge to beat the World Heavyweight, become the World Heavyweight Champion. And even though the World Heavyweight Champion thing didn't come through, it was a big win for Del Rio. But fun times. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan with all the wrestling rumors about the guys coming over from New Japan. Maybe AJ is going to debut. Maybe he's not. Maybe they'll save it for another day because of the fact that so many people know about it. I think that Jim Ross on his podcast sort of said it wasn't going to be the Rumble, that he thought it was going to be the night after the Rumble. But I only read that. I didn't hear it, so I'm not 100% sure if that's fact or if that's just sort of something that's made up, because there's a lot of things. Between here and now, you'll probably hear rumors of Shelton Benjamin or Carlito coming back to be, surprise members, maybe Tatanka, since he just signed that Legends deal. But You know, it doesn't matter if it's returning legends, returning hurt superstars that we haven't seen in a while. Everyone's going to be a part of this Rumble, and it's going to be a really good Rumble because of the fact the storyline is you get to be champion. You don't have to fight anybody else to basically to get the title. Normally, it's you have to win this match, and then you go on to WrestleMania where you wrestle in the main event to complete your destiny of being a pro wrestler, of winning the big one, and we'll have to see. But I honestly think when it comes down to it, there's only a few guys who can win it. Brock, Roman are the two names that are in it, and then in the back of my mind, I keep thinking about Triple H, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to happen, but if it does happen, I'll go bananas. There definitely is surprises coming. Roman Reigns has one coming to him after the beatdown that he gave Triple H. We've seen Triple H get beat down before, but I've never seen him basically gone for a month from a beatdown. It wasn't like Roman Reigns ran him over with a car or anything extravagant like that. He just beat him up, punched him around, hit a couple moves, and see where we go from there. But big Rumble coming up on Sunday. Who do you think's going to win it all? Alright, everybody, this is what it all comes down to, the prediction of who is going to win this year's Royal Rumble. I've said it the whole time, all along, that basically I think there's only 3 guys on the WWE roster that have a chance of becoming the WWE Champion. Anything really could happen inside of this match. I mean, the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 32, even though this is supposed to be the biggest and best WrestleMania of all time, you know, they've done it in the past where you've had a match like Punk versus Jericho, which being built up as one of the co-main events, even though when you look at the whole card, it's not one of the top 4 or 5, more popular matches. It just happens to be for the championship, so they build it up like it's a big deal. I mean, this could be a spot where Dolph Ziggler or Kevin Owens or somebody like this does win the championship and they don't, make it into a big deal. They just sort of split everybody off into big WrestleMania matches, and because they're big WrestleMania matches, they don't have to have the championship on the line. That way they can have a different outcome other than who is the champion win that match. But honestly, I think when you look at this whole deal, you've got, Triple H, you've got Roman Reigns, and you've got Brock Lesnar. All 3 of those guys are easy picks to win the whole deal. Triple H would be a great story to win it because of how much I know people would hate the fact that Triple H would make himself champion when he is such a high position of power, even though you can tell the match they're building up to at WrestleMania is going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H. There's no way they're not going to have that. Triple H has been a part of wrestling at WrestleMania for years, even though he is one of the, I guess you can say, bosses. He is still one of the best wrestlers, not only one of the most over competitors that there is. People love to see this guy get his ass kicked. I said that basically once he moved into becoming the Authority, he would probably never win another wrestling match as long as he was a heel. He's always about putting himself over. It's a lot like Vince McMahon. I mean, I can think of Vince winning the ECW championship, which was the beginning of a joke. I can remember Vince winning the Royal Rumble. But when it came down for time for Vince to get his ass kicked, Vince got his ass kicked and he put the other guy over. It's just a part of, good business inside of WWE. There is no 50-50 booking when it comes to that. The only questions I have about Triple H winning it is that, does he come out at number 30? Does he come out at number 31? I know that this doesn't make a lot of sense, but I say like number 30 comes out, and then you have a final 4 of Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus, something like that. And Roman Reigns basically eliminates 2 of those guys, and it's down to the final 2. And even though the number 30's passed and it's been a little while, Triple H, basically, I would love to have the music come on and the tights and just be Triple H being Triple H, but I guess that would have to be him in the back foreseeing something going wrong in the Rumble, so he goes and gets changed and has time to tell the person to play his music. Or does Triple H just come out in the suit and he comes down to the ring to do it? I think you can tell. I think that Triple H is going to win this. I'm pretty much would bet the farm on the deal. Roman Reigns would be a great pick, but they are stacking the deck against this guy. People have won from the number 1 position before, so it's not that far out of that reach, but it's almost like they're almost stacking the deck against him too much to sort of tell you this guy's not winning. And then Brock Lesnar, even though that It looks like Brock's going to be fighting Bray Wyatt unless they just had a very worthless ordeal on Monday Night Raw where the Wyatts beat down Roman Reigns as well as Brock Lesnar for no reason at all. That match does not need a championship at all. So bet the farm, Triple H to get the win.